You can support me by subscribing and liking the video. Thanks for watching.
Hi, this is Peter, the head of production at Massive Damage, and I'm going to show you a little bit of our upcoming game, Fera, the Sundered Tribes. If you haven't seen Fera before, it's a combination of co-op monster hunting, open-world survival craft, and a tribal colony sim with a heavy focus on aerial mechanics. This is my village here. This is where I manage my tribe and where they craft all the equipment and potions and weapons and food, all the stuff that we need to survive in Fera. We're out of harm's way here. We live on a magical floating island. It's surrounded by friendly sky whales, but when I go to the underland below, that's when things get a little bit more interesting. The world of Fera is designed to be kind of a jungle gym for aerial mechanics. You can chain together moves of gliding and tethering to achieve really fast speeds, and it's a lot of fun to see your friends zipping around you, soaring in the air like your fighter jets. But right now we're on a mission to track down a Groktuk's egg, which we've located here. This is going to involve us fighting a large Groktuk, so you can see a little bit of how combat works. Our combat design also retains that aerial focus, so in addition to physical attacks, our monsters also attack you with elemental bullet hell style barrages, which sort of test your mastery of Fera's aerial mechanics. In addition, you can also cling to the monsters and attack their different body parts, and even saw off craftable trophies mid-combat. But as I mentioned, today I am on a hunt for a Groktuk's egg, so while my friends have him distracted, I'm gonna go find it. When the time is right, I'll be able to hatch the egg, and I'll gain a new addition to my beast menagerie, who I can then bring into the Underland to help me out in all sorts of ways. So that's a little snippet of what makes up our game. If you like what you see and you want to find out more, give us a wishlist and follow us at playfera.com.
Hi, we're Massive Damage Games, and we're excited to show you some new footage from our upcoming game, Fera, the Sundered Tribes. Fera is a monster hunting action RPG with a focus on aerial traversal and combat, set in a gorgeous open world full of gigantic behemoths and ancient secrets. Deep colony sim management and village building mechanics form the basis for our unique spin on this genre. For the art direction in Fera, we adapted the latest Unreal Engine features like Lumen and Nanite to create a visual style that would be a contrast to the barrage of gritty, ultra-realistic Unreal Engine games coming to market. We combined influences from the East and West to create something otherworldly, ancient, mysterious, and yet familiar and strikingly beautiful. It was only natural to incorporate our super fun gliding and swinging traversal mechanics to create an aerial-based combat system that gives players a lot of ways to approach taking down the massive behemoths in Fera. Our monsters aren't just colossal either. They can wield elemental forces in bullet hell barrages, challenging you to dodge, weave, and strike with precision. Not only will you need to build your village in Fera, our deep colony sim mechanics will require you to manage your village's hunger, morale, and production systems. And taking down monsters requires building specialized harvesting stations to process the monster remains in order to carefully extract resources and rare components for your village. We hope you enjoyed this short developer preview of Fera, the Sundered Tribes.
Hi, this is Peter, the head of production at Massive Damage, and in this video, we'll be going through all the new systems and features we've added since the new year. We've instituted a tribe system that's reminiscent of colony sims like Frostpunk or strategy games like Europa Universalis, but we've retrofitted them to suit our leave and return action RPG loop. It's based on meters that captures the well-being of your tribe and your village, meaning health and morale and the physical upkeep of your buildings. And now the need to keep your tribe fed and healthy is now a primary concern for the player, but not to the extent where you're distracted while you're having action-packed fun in the Underland. As long as you keep them fed and you do quests for them and you don't overwork them with tasks or not give them enough time to do their regular upkeep chores, you will be fine. But if you let them starve or you overwork them because you want to make specific equipment or you want to mine specific resources because it suits your progression plan, the village well-being will suffer and there will be consequences for that. Another thing that we brought to the game is functionally the ability to extend your village into the Underland by way of a new kind of portal artifact that you unlock over the course of the game. This artifact can be carried into the Underland, and you can set it down, and you can open a permanent, stable portal for a period of time. This allows you to build harvesting stations next to corpses, which enable your villagers to cut apart those corpses and get all the resources inside, which are, of course, key to weapon and armor progression. Also key to killing monsters is our upgraded focus on elemental attacks. Now, to keep the monsters effective against larger and larger multiplayer groups of players, we've given all of our monsters these kind of bullet hell style area of effect attacks that necessitate the player to dodge and weave and glide and grapple around using our movement systems, which is a lot of fun, and it meshes great with the rest of the gameplay. As with all elemental attack systems in all games, different elemental loadouts are going to have different levels of success against other elements. And so a lot of the progression is now based on first, nibbling a bit against lightning monsters, which then outfits you with a loadout that's good against fire monsters, which then allows you to take on frost monsters, etc., etc., etc. To help achieve that, what we've done is we've populated these different elemental monsters in different segments of the map. And each of these segments have multiple layers of sort of Dark Souls-inspired boss arenas that get progressively harder and harder of that elemental type. The idea is that players within our leave and return open world system will be bit by bit unlocking each of these arenas through successful combats, finding new quests and special resource extraction points until they're powerful enough to take on the next monster and then the next monster, and unlocking new loadouts that help against different elemental types until they've done enough of this progression that they're strong enough that they can take on the biome boss, which then enables them to move on to the next biome when that biome becomes available. And we've also created a new system that allows the player to carve off chunks from monsters in combat and then send them back to the village. This is a lot of fun in multiplayer, and it's very helpful early on with the early progression when the player does not necessarily have the skill to kill a monster outright. This allows them to escape from a combat with a monster with a piece of it that they can then use to create some new equipment, which is going to help them along with their progression. Helping the player along with all of these new systems is going to be a key challenge for us.
But again, inspired by strategy games, what we've done is we've structured out all these quests as a kind of tech tree that the player can engage with of their own volition. We found this works really well in introducing these new systems to players, and it's going to be really helpful for us as we add more and more content, more and more systems to the game going forward. Especially as we add new artifacts to the game through the island engine room, or as aspects of the game change in surprising ways as we go from biome to biome, from less mystical biomes to more mystical biomes, and things get more and more systemically interesting as the game progresses.